In the autumn of 1820, the Essex, a whaling ship from the small island of Nantucket, Massachusetts, set sail into the vast Pacific Ocean. Its purpose was simple: to hunt whales for their valuable oil, which fueled the lamps and industry of the era. But what transpired on this voyage would become one of the most harrowing tales of endurance, desperation, and the fragile limits of human morality. The Essex was captained by George Pollard, Jr., a young and relatively inexperienced leader, with Owen Chase serving as his first mate and Thomas Nickerson, a mere cabin boy, among the 20-man crew. The men were hardened by the dangerous profession of whaling, but even they could not have foreseen the catastrophic events awaiting them. For over a year, the Essex sailed deeper into the Pacific in search of sperm whales. These majestic creatures were not just prey. They were enormous, intelligent beings capable of immense power. On November 20th, 1820, far from any land, the Essex encountered a pod of whales. As the crew lowered their small whaleboats to pursue their quarry, an enormous sperm whale, measuring around 85 feet, turned against them. The whale struck the ship not once but twice, with such force that it shattered the timbers of the Essex. The second blow was fatal. The ship began to take on water. The crew had no choice but to abandon their vessel, salvaging what they could. Stranded in the middle of the ocean, with only 3 small whaleboats and limited supplies, their nightmare had just begun. For weeks, the men drifted on the open ocean under the scorching sun, plagued by thirst, starvation, and the haunting vastness of the sea. Their rationed provisions, hardtack biscuits, and meager amounts of water quickly dwindled. As days turned into weeks, death visited the crew. One by one, men succumbed to starvation or exposure. Those who remained faced an unthinkable decision. With no land in sight and the hope of rescue slipping away, the survivors resorted to cannibalism. It began with the bodies of those who had already died. But even this grim source of sustenance ran out. Desperate, the men drew lots to decide who among them would be sacrificed so the others might live. In this macabre lottery, a crew member was selected and killed, a decision that weighed heavily on every survivor for the rest of their lives. After 95 days adrift, the remaining survivors were rescued, first by the brig Indian and later by other ships. Of the 20 men who had left Nantucket, only 8 returned home. Captain Pollard, who had lost family members to the ordeal, was haunted by the memories and never fully recovered. Owen Chase documented the tragedy, his account later inspiring Herman Melville's classic novel, Moby-Dick. As for the young cabin boy, Thomas Nickerson, his life was irrevocably shaped by the horrors he witnessed. The tragedy of the Essex stands as a stark reminder of human fragility in the face of nature's raw power. It is not just a tale of survival, but a story of the difficult moral choices people make when pushed beyond the boundaries of endurance. While history remembers the Essex for its tragic fate, it also speaks to the resilience and darkness within the human spirit, a balance of strength and sacrifice in the most unimaginable circumstances. Follow for more.